The Church of Gary Primal and Oracle Saints.
The Church of Gary Primal and the Oracle Saints.
Beast machines in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Too much Energon.
Too much Energon, like this podcast.
The beasts are here, McLeod, for the gathering.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings, Megatron.
Then they'd better stay out of my way. Blah, 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 blah. Beast Wars once and for all.
Big time Gary himself.
Man, these things look like toys.
Maximal! Maximal! Does that mean transform?
Titor, what have you done? I am transformed.
Sigma balls, Gary. No, no, that.
Listeners, and welcome to episode 116 of Too Much Energon, the podcast where we talk about Beast Wars shit and talk shit about Beast Wars. Coming to you live from a mysterious floating mountain somewhere hidden on planet Energon. I am The Siege, as always, one of your hosts.
And I'm your other host, NeoCal, except I am broadcasting from one of Tarantulus's many secret lairs.
Ooh, which one?
One of them, probably the underwater one.
Well, I mean, I guess if you told us, then it wouldn't be much of a secret now, would
Wouldn't
it?
be a secret.
Yeah.
One of the ones they didn't find.
Ah, okay.
The one that houses Ravage's body.
Right, the one that, what was it, Magmatron used to, I don't know, bring him back to life somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember those comics.
The very memorable comics.
Speaking of comics that suck, today on Too Much Energon, we are talking about, what is it, issue 7, 8? I can't remember. We recorded a spin-off of this podcast a couple of years ago called Too Much Galabaw. It was originally for Patreon, then I made it a publicly available show, and then I pulled it, and now it's just being repurposed as episodes of Too Much Energon, because that, I don't know, that to me just makes the most sense. So we are traveling back in time once again, 4 million years in the past, to 2001, where we recorded us reviewing. It's like one of my favorite jokes to make on this show, because like in Beast Wars they're like, oh, 4 million years hence.
4 million years hence, in the far off year of 2000.
So I love to make jokes about us like going back in time 4 million years to some like year that's like just a couple of years ago.
2001, A Space Odyssey. What was the sequel? 2011?
I think it was 20. Yeah, it was 2010, the year we made contact.
Right.
I've never seen it.
Right, because it's zeros and ones in the right. 2001, then 2010.
Right. I've never seen it. I've heard it's not very good.
I have seen it, but I don't remember.
Look at behind me in my background, we have the goat himself, Simon McCorkindale.
I've got the goat himself too. Stoned Gary. Have you heard of the stoned ape hypothesis?
No.
That the more advanced hominids, the more human, all the different human species, or at least maybe Homo sapiens, by eating psychedelic mushrooms, which are known for redirect, like making new passages in the brain,
right,
unlocked something that wasn't previously present in other hominid species.
I have heard something about this before. Yeah.
Stoned ape like theory, and psychedelics had some effect along along with probably like, unlocking protein chains from cooking meat, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's why we're here today. It's because our ancient ancestors, as they were standing upright, ate some shrooms and got smart. And we're like, whoa, see the stars? Yeah. Doesn't that one look like a fucking scorpion?
The key to the future, man, is
In the seeds.
buried in the seeds of the past.
That
What?
which
Wait, what's a seed? A seed is life, dude. Whoa.
Whoa, what's life? Life is us, dude.
Life is me and you. Both of us?
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
Dust.
Dust. Wind. Dude.
Folks, I have a new job. I switched jobs a couple of weeks ago, which I don't know if I've really gone into it very much, but it's going great. Everything about it was a positive change. But one of my new colleagues, she works in I think it's the vitamins department. She says to me the other day, she was like, "Oh, I'm feeling I'm just feeling kind of off today. Like I could really go for some mushrooms." And I'm like, you
Yeah?
you mean microdosing?" And she just starts laughing. She's like, no. There's these like healthy mushrooms that you can take that actually like boost your like serotonin levels and whatnot. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because when someone says like I could really go for some mushrooms right now, I'm either thinking of a pizza or I'm thinking people are microdosing.
I've never heard. Yeah. I could really go for some mushroom like pizza or some. But yeah, I've heard there's like health,
Yeah.
like energy ones, like there's one that's called like Sage's Beard, or I don't know, man.
Great Odin's Raven.
Odin's Raven. There you go. That's a type of mushroom, right?
Right. Or a strain of weed.
We need to ask Gary.
Yeah, we need
He
to
would
ask
know
Gary.
all about it.
And speaking of Gary, we're about to jump back in time 4 million years to 2021 to talk about whatever issue of the 2021 IDW's Beast Wars comics.
It's probably a
up
good
this
one.
week. It's probably a good one. And well, here it is.
Too much Energon.
Are you ready for a Beast Warsy time with issue number 8?
Are you ready for a Beast Wars throwdown?
A grudge match, if you will.
All building up to a steel cage, no disqualifications match at WrestleMania.
Oh yes. Well, even though this is a different timeline, right? Like we're looking at a different like alternate timeline of things that are a little bit different characters from Beast Wars, but Blackarachnia still steps on Cheetor.
Yes,
So
she does.
Things never change.
I'm
not complaining.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. Yes.
That's right. So where did we leave off?
We last left.
Blackarachnia stepping on Cheetor.
Yeah. Blackarachnia had snuck into the Axalon, the Maximal ship, and she got in there like still with her Maximal programming still intact.
But then
that's how she got in there.
As it was downloading an update, which was actually Predacon code.
Yeah.
She like joined the dark side while she was on the ship.
Yeah. She broke bad, if you will, after getting through their anti-Predacon shield, which is kind of convenient. That timing worked out for her.
Isn't that convenient?
So she snuck onto the ship and she fucked up Cheetor, like went to investigate. She fucked him up. And
right. Everybody thought he was crazy.
Yeah, they were busy playing like space poker.
Which he was winning, if I'm not mistaken. Or he had a really great hand. Yeah.
Actually, I'm kind of wondering what this game they're playing is, because like the issue opens with them at this poker table, but not only are there cards and chips, there are also sticks.
Yes, there are sticks.
They kind of look like chopsticks.
Like, yeah, chopsticks, tiddlywinks, sort of.
Yeah, maybe they were having lunch.
Yeah, maybe they were just having lunch. And what are they saying? They're trying to radio Cheetor.
Yeah, they're trying to radio Cheetor and can't get through to him. And Gary Primal is like, Cheetor, or computer, locate Cheetor, and the computer tells him where Cheetor is and how long has he been there. And the computer is like 5 nanocycles. And so they all go running and
Dramatically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool shot in the comic.
It is.
And Optimus is like, I've never known him to stay still that long unless he was ordered to. Maybe. So,
Yeah.
so he must be in trouble. Which, the characterization of Cheetor in this book's kind of all over the place. Like,
Yeah.
so that implies that he's like kind of brash and impulsive and doesn't listen. But in the last issue, Cheetor was talking about how like practical and, cautious he is. So I'm like,
I feel like the comic wants to explore new character concepts, but without breaking how the character's nature is.
but those two things directly contradict one another.
Thank you, but as a result, you need to do one or the other. We've talked about this a little bit, but not in extensive detail. You need to do one or the other. They're a new character, or they're the old character with some tweaks. You can't say that he's rational, professional, and like thinks things through, and then imply that he's like the ADD child that can't sit still and doesn't listen to orders. So it's fine if a character has conflicting points, that's fine. But Optimus's summary of him there contradicts what they've shown the reader.
Yeah, of this version of Cheetor thus far. Yeah.
Yeah, and indeed, he was winning poker, right? So
I didn't even know he was old enough to gamble.
Maybe out here in the Wild West of Planet Energon, you can throw caution to the wind, and there's no cops, man.
Yeah, no one's gonna card you, right?
Yeah, yeah. Uncle Primal and Uncle Rhinox don't give a shit. They'll even throw you a beer. You're old enough for a beer. Drink up.
You only get 2 though. Rest are for me.
I didn't buy this 8-pack for nothing. And they actually do come across him really quickly. And it's some like xenomorph aliens.
Yeah, they come across him pretty quick. He's up on the ceiling, webbed up. They don't know what it is at first, but they cut him down, and Dinobot like sniffs it and is like, smells like Energon.
Yeah, so I like that. So that implies this must have been a Transformer.
Yeah.
He falls square on his face, and I'm like, can nobody help a brother out and catch him? Yes, you're robots, so you're made of metal. You're not going to get hurt that much, but like, nobody could catch him. It makes a point of showing a panel where he thuds hard. What is that word? Kadud. He slams face first onto the floor.
I like comic book onomatopoeias.
I think they're creative and sometimes silly.
Yeah,
Kadud, but it makes sense. You kind of make a kadud sound
as they're pulling as Rat Trap is pulling as Rat Trap's pulling the web off of him. It's like schlip, and the lettering looks all slimy.
And he breaks free, and I guess he wasn't unconscious. His mouth was just bound. And as soon as his mouth is free, he like gasps and says, "I told you so."
And I told you I heard something, and it was a Predacon, see?
None of you wanted to listen.
And
Give me your badge and gun.
You're off the case.
That didn't sound like thank you, Rat Trap. You want to try again?
Yeah, and Rhinox points out that it couldn't have been a Predacon because Predacons can't get through their shields.
And the
Optimus
shields have been up the whole time.
And their shields have been up all this time. And Optimus immediately is like, what about the pods we left in orbit? The maximal protoforms they're carrying could get through our security, but why would one attack? And then Rat Trap's like, that mad scientist that shanked our buddy Dinobot here, he was snooping around in one of the labs. He might have done something to cause this. And I'm like,
that
is
of them. That is one after the other.
Yeah. That is, considering that is exactly what happened. Like, I feel like they came to that conclusion way too quickly.
And they dissolve it by having two people contribute to the their theory, right? Because it's one thing if one person completely guesses how this happened, but to lend credibility to it, Optimus is like, what if it was one of the protoform maximals? And then Rat Traps is like, oh, it was that mad scientist spider. He had something to do with it. I'm with you though. That is wildly jumping the gun. Yeah. There is no fucking way either of them should have drawn even the conclusions that they came to
quickly. Yeah, without any thought or investigation,
input, asking the computer what was up, what had been tampered with. That is, it's the opposite of what we had said before. We had complained that the first few issues, not enough was happening. There'd be a lot of dead pages. This is the opposite. Right? It's just like boom, boom, boom. Okay, they know what happens. 3 pages in. So I guess there's the point of this is that there needs to be believability while moving the plot in a satisfying pace.
Right.
But that is some
some
Sherlock levels of deduction.
Yeah, the writer of this book like swung way too far in the other direction.
Yeah. 2 panels, boom, they know exactly what happened. By the way, not like you said, no clues, no nothing, just they saved Cheetor. Must have been a maximal proto form. Oh, Tarantulas must have had something to do with it.
Must have reprogrammed it. Of course. The only possible solution. All right,
okay, Sherlock.
Seal the ship.
Yeah. And indeed, when Primal is giving the order to seal the ship, it cuts to kind of like a computerized like blue and white view of him from a camera, and it shows like VR rig, like hacker setup. Blackarachnia is like hacking into their mainframe. There's always a way out, and I'll know everything. Computer, begin download of Axalon data files.
It actually looks pretty similar to like the headset that she wore at the end of the first season when she was programming the stasis pod.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I love the hacking in Beast Wars, and I wish there was more of it. Like when we find out that Tigatron is like a spec ops like hacker, well, just that one episode when he like plugs in and he dives in like lawnmower man, like 3D moving files around.
Yeah,
I imagine that's what she's doing here. Or at least I hope so.
So she's trying to get files from the Axalon computer.
And every other panel there's a progress bar.
Yeah.
9% download.
And she asked the computer if like the code that was uploaded to her, if it like has a copy of it, or she asked her computer, and she uses the Axalon computer to connect to the orbiting pods and to send that code that reprogrammed her to the pods in orbit. And it is successful. Like it's...
Yeah, she's like, by the way, this is the Axalon computer helping her. And let's say let's say she bypassed security because she's a hacker or whatever, right? Okay, so there's the other leap in logic problem, right? I have a problem with this
Okay.
because why haven't the Maximals called the pods down like this? If it's this easy for her, you're telling me that none of the Maximals could have done this? Because she cancels the download of all of the Axalon files, and she starts the upload of the code patch, which is to turn them all into Predacons.
Yeah.
But and call them she tries to call them down.
Yeah, and she succeeds at it, and she gets to 51% of the stasis
When she's
pods.
disconnected because Rhinox busts in.
And
Yeah.
he busts in. He's like, "All right, listen here, whatever your name is. I didn't.
What do you think you're doing, lady?
I didn't see you. I didn't see you. Oh God. Oh. I didn't see you pay a cover at the door when you came on in.
At least wipe your feet if you're going to use my computer. You better not delete. You better not delete pinball." Oh God. A very quick story.
You can take Minesweeper though. Nobody likes that. It's too hard to play after 12 beers.
Free cell. You better not touch that shit. Spider solitaire. So back when I lived with my auntie and uncle in Bel Air, they had a very nice computer at the time, right? Lots of storage space. I had Battlefield 1942, like StarCraft, like whatever on the computer, right? Morrowind was a big one for me. And
The original Call of Duty. Medal of
the
Honor.
original
Medal of Honor, Allied Assault.
Oh wow. I liked Call of Duty 1. I was really big into COD 2. Played that a lot online. And anybody recalls, right? Your start screen, it would have on the little like right side of the start when you press the Windows button, it would show you the most recently used programs. Right. And
Right.
so it was only like a quick screen of like 4, right? So if I was like messing around in MS Paint, and then video games, right? Well, my uncle came in, he uses the fucking computer like 4 times a year, right? He comes down, half cut, just like Rhinox, and sits down, petting a cat, sitting in his underwear, and
Getting ready to watch porn.
getting rid. Oh, he didn't even know how to. He could do that, by the way.
Okay.
Right? Presses goes to
Thank
the
God.
start button. Thank God. Presses the start button and the pinball isn't on that little quick screen. Doesn't type in pin, right? Doesn't know the file location of where it is, right? And just flips his fucking lid and goes nuts. And when I try to explain it to him, this is very boomer mentality, by the way.
I have a similar story.
Yeah, very boomer mentality. Nope. Programs can't just delete themselves from the computer. And I'm like, it's not deleted. It's just not on the quick screen because I've been playing other things and didn't want to hear why, didn't want to learn how to use a computer. Like this motherfucker thought the desktop was actually like the desk that the computer was sitting on, right? Like didn't understand what left click meant, right? Just any of that shit. And nope, grounded from the computer for 2 months.
Jesus.
Because he couldn't find pinball. And then, he calms down a few days later and he's all like, okay, so you said it's not gone. So where's this pinball thing? And I'm like, I don't know, because I'm not allowed on the computer. And instead of ungrounding me and learning a fucking thing or two, just kind of like dug in his heels and he was like, oh, okay, well, if it's like that, then. And I'm like, all you had to do was ask me to show you how to get to it and not flip out, you piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you'll be dead soon.
My an ex of mine, Kelly,
was not expecting this story to be about her.
Well,
she's not older than you.
No, it's related. It's related to her, but quite literally, it's about her dad. So, listeners, Kelly was an ex of mine that was in my life when me and Cal first met.
Yeah.
So Cal has met her and knows what kind of person she was.
Yeah. A delight.
Oh yeah, 100%. Anyway, so her dad, I can't remember why, but there was some reason. I think this was in like 2010 or 2011. They still had like Windows 98 or
That I thought you were gonna say like Windows ME.
it was 98 or XP, I can't remember, but it was an old version of Windows, like even at that point, and like
Yeah.
support for it was ending, and like her dad needed something like work.
Right.
Like it needed to like still be supported because like he owned a business or something like that. I can't remember why. But anyway, so I was like, okay, well, and so he went out and bought like what was the Windows 7, I think was the latest one at the time. So he went out and bought Windows 7, and he's like, yeah, but and he was like, well, I'm gonna have to like pay like blah blah, and they said they would charge me like $75 to install it. And Kelly was like, well, why don't you just get Christopher to install it? And he was like, well, does he know how to do things like that? And she's like, yeah. And so he asked me, he's like, can you do this? And I was like, yeah, it's easy. I can do it. No problem.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. Didn't pay me or anything, didn't even offer. But was just
Of
like,
course.
here, do this. And so I did. I installed it, got everything up to date on their computer, got rid of a shit ton of malware. Just did a whole, like, in addition to upgrading their version of Windows, I did like a complete system clean.
Yeah.
And so like I'm like, yeah, okay, like I did this thing for them. Like I did them this favor. Their computer lives are going to be much easier now. Go me. Didn't even get a thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, didn't even get a thank you. So apparently her father only understood how to get to Microsoft Outlook for his work email by going to the start menu and going to the Outlook icon, which was still there, but because like it was like such a vast jump from like XP to Windows 7, it was a dead link at that point. Because I didn't do a fresh install, I just did an upgrade because he bought an upgrade CD. He didn't buy because they were cheaper.
Yeah.
So he bought an upgrade CD, so I
Right.
couldn't do a fresh install. So yeah, so the shortcut in the start menu was dead. It was broken, so it didn't work. And of course, I didn't check for this because why would I? I didn't even think of it. Why would I? Didn't even think of it. And so he flips out, is like quite literally like smashing things in the kitchen, and tells me like if I ever go near his computer again, he will break my fucking fingers one at a time. And
Because he's complete. Wow, your story definitely beats mine.
Yeah, and so I never touched their computer again. Kelly stuck up for her dad, was like, well, you shouldn't have fucked that up. And I'm like, well, if your idiot father had like, again, like, why would I check for this? If your idiot father had just been like calmly said to me, hey, this, I can't get into my Outlook through the shortcut that I used to use. Can you help me figure that out? No, he just flipped out, started smashing things, and then threatened to break my fingers.
Yeah, it's really telling that she sided with her dad.
She sided with her dad. Her dad.
Yeah, if he had just been like, hey, I'm computer illiterate. Is this thing gone? Like, I need this. It's really important. No, that's not how those guys operate, man. Holy shit. Piece of shit. You know what? I would have, man.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, and we were this was a 8-month period of time where we were both living with her parents. So I kind of just had to take it. But I got out of
Right.
there. Like I ended up moving out like a month or something like that later.
Uh, I would have
Uh,
snuck on the computer and just fucking sabotaged the hell out of it. Inverted the colors, right? Changed the resolution to something just fucking atrocious. Just I would have absolutely completely just gotten rid of programs.
the last time I talked to Kelly was about 5 years ago now, and I found out from her that they were still using my router, my wireless router, by the way, that I left there.
Uh-huh.
And so this was like a Linksys router from like 2006 that they were still using. I They were using it.
Wow.
They still had it hooked up, but here's the thing. I never told them the Wi-Fi. Like I knew what like the Wi-Fi password was,
Right.
and they all had it like saved in their phones and whatnot, but I never actually told them what it was. So, and as of like 5 years ago, like 2016, according to Kelly, they were still using that same router for some bewildering reason without
Okay.
knowing what the Wi-Fi password is, but they still like the devices that they had still had the password saved, so they were still able to use it. That's what that's yeah.
I
And she was like, "Well, by any chance, do you know what it was?" And I'm like, "Of course I don't. That was like 5 years ago."
but let's be real, you did.
No, I
You
didn't
just told
actually.
them you didn't. Oh.
No,
Would have
it
been
was
hilarious if you were like, of course I don't. And then
yeah.
you like turn to the camera and you're like, actually, I do. But fuck
Uh,
them.
yeah, fuck them.
Hilarious.
Anyway, weird tangent to go on, but yeah, so Rhinox like interrupts Blackarachnia. Blackarachnia fucks off. We see on the screen, the computer screen, that the protoforms, the stasis pods are all descending, and 51% of them have been had this Predacon shell program uploaded to them.
51%.
Yeah, and so Rhinox radios Optimus and tells him what's up, and tells him that the stasis pods are coming down, and says that we're going to lose some of the pods. And Primal gets all mad, and he's like, well, the ship is locked down. He's pissed off now, and he's like, the ship is locked down. I want this intruder found and alive.
Mm-hmm.
And Dinobot suggests that if he was in her position, the place he would go is the armory. The poor excuse for the armory.
So what have we
like,
learned?
I
Sorry, go
like
ahead.
I like these shots here of Cheetor running in beast mode with Rat Trap in beast mode, like riding him.
I was gonna share that on just like the cropped image of Rat Trap on top of Cheetor, but I didn't know if that is like a faux pas or not. Like, do you know what I mean? Like sharing part of a digital image. Because, like you said, Rat Trap is riding Cheetor, and it is kind of the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, they especially in the top, the panel in the top right corner.
Right.
Yeah,
It was that one. I
Yeah.
cropped it, right, so that it was just the top right. You couldn't see the word bubble.
I think
And
sharing it is fine since it's not for commercial purposes.
And it's not the whole page.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, maybe I will. Also on this page, to emphasize how fast he is, he's breaking through the comic panels. They're having like a 3D effect where one panel is over him, but then he's over and in between the two panels. And the direction that he's running is the direction that you follow comic panels in. Good job. What's the person who does the paneling called?
It's the artist. It's the penciler who does that.
Before that, the director.
No, the panel layout's chosen by the penciler.
Oh, it is. Cool.
The writer will put the script writer will put how many panels are on each page, in the script,
Okay.
and he'll write a description of what kind of action is going on, but then the penciler like does the rest.
Also, they have kind of creative.
Yeah.
Well, wow. Okay, fuck. That's a huge job, and I really dig it. I know it's like been done before, and it can be cheesy or whatever, but I love the paneling on this page. And then Dinobot tackles Cheetor.
Doesn't tackle him; he punches him.
Oh, for some reason I thought he like shoulder checked him into the wall.
Or yeah,
One of them. He hits
either
Cheetor.
way. Look at Rat Trap, just like
Oh shit! Yeah.
just above him. Like I don't know, his face just looks hilarious to me. The pose he's in.
Get fucked, chopper face.
In that very panel where Dinobots like stop and like body checks Cheetor, Rat Trap's just kind of like hovering above, like looking down with like a scowl.
Yeah, nobody does that to my pal Cheetor. Yeah. And in the next panel, there's like an angry Cheetor in beast mode, like lying on the ground, scowling at Dinobot. And everyone else is in their robot form.
Yeah.
And Rat Trap's like, I knew it. Once a pred,
including
always a
Rat
pred."
Trap now. He transformed.
Midair. You just couldn't wait to attack, could you blasted old piece of slag?
So Dinobot
Picks him
points
up
out
by the head.
yeah, as he do.
Yeah, as he do.
And points out that there's a tripwire with attached to 3 Talvox grenades, as Primal points out.
Uh-oh. 3? One of those could have turned us into a fine mist. And then there's an explosion.
Katoom.
Katoom. I like the effects there. It's kind of like wavy, like a 3D. Like if you put on 3D glasses, it would it would pop.
Yeah.
Oh, scared cheetah.
Also Cheetor's face.
Yeah, I didn't realize he's still in his beast mode. I should put that as my Twitter profile. Katoom with like Cheetor there. No context. Beast Wars uploads. Alert! Hull door breached. So I guess she figured out a way out of our sealed ship after all.
And Cheetor's like, no, she's not getting away that easily, and he like takes off after her. And
I like this 3D POV effect
of Cheetor just like running through the corridors of
Man.
the Axalon.
This is paneled so well, the perspective of a really fast cheetah. And indeed, man, does he catch up.
Yeah, he catches up to Blackarachnia and tackles her and calls her a traitor. And she's like, you can't betray someone when you've never had their trust, you idiot.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Think about that while you're paralyzed. And she tries to shoot a cyber venom shot at him, but he dodges.
And they trade some fire back and forth.
He bites her gun. I love Beast Mode Cheetor fighting robot preds in there like with guns and him just like dodging and biting their guns. I don't know why. I love that. Something we don't see in Beast Wars or Beast Machines really is that we've already seen in issue 7 as well. Blackarachnia can use her in her robot form, the spider legs, as like knives, like swords or whatever, because she stabs Cheetor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember she killed the big old crocodile with her leg.
Her spider
parts.
legs. Yeah.
Spider legs, yeah.
Yeah, so Cheetor is like, you're going back to the Axalon. We're going to hold you to the brig until we can get you back to Cybertron, where you will answer for your crimes. And she's like, what crimes? I've never even seen Cybertron.
Good point. Right?
And he's like, you also snuck onto our ship and tried to kill us. That's definitely a crime. And she's like, oh, yes, I planted those 2 traps, but I didn't hear either of them go off. So clever of you to find them. And then, fucking stupid, Cheetor is like, you mean 1 trap? And she's like, do I? And he's like, gasp, there's a 2nd trap. Beast mode, they need to know. And he charges off.
That's so... Because he was winning, by the way. It seems like he's got things under control.
Yeah. I'm like, Man, like you actually fucking
Bro.
fell for that, kid? Like,
There's
Jesus Christ.
There's a really cool shot of her like walking towards him, but she's crossing one leg over the other with her like the machine gun arms that Tarantulas and Blackarachnia have.
Yeah, the spider legs.
The spider leg machine guns. Yeah, they do a little bit of damage, but it's suppressive, right? You don't want to be caught up close with it. And I like that shot of her like with her arms out and the guns blazing. It's really digging the art lately. But yeah, I forgot that he uses his kitty whip tail.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot that. Yeah. But
which actually wasn't part of the original toy. That's part of the Kingdom Cheetor.
Kingdom Cheetor. We saw something like that with Transmetal.
Transmetal Cheetor, yeah.
It's kind of
the tail.
He uses
tail
it
whip.
once. He uses it once on the show. But it's his tail whip. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but he's winning and she tricks him.
Yeah.
There's a second bomb. And like part of me is like, can't you beat her, restrain her, and then tell the others about the second bomb?
Yeah, so like I said, he buys it and takes off, and she's like, sucker. And back at the Axalon, he's like, I can't believe she lied to me.
Yeah, that's so much more upsetting than the way she almost blew us up. Yeah, I'm like, oh, can't believe she lied. Ugh. And I'm like, she tried to kill you too.
Yeah,
what do you mean you can't believe she lied?
Couple times. Like, also, I can't believe you fell for it.
Yeah. Now's not the time. Rhinox, how much damage did she cause? Well, she tried to download some memory and other computer stuff. Got less than 10%, but she uploaded a corruptive update file to the protoforms. I pulled the code apart. It was forcible overwrite, replacing maximal values with spooky Predacon shit. There were other instructions too, but trouble is she uploaded it to just over half. Whoever's emerging from those pods ain't gonna be on our side. No, sir.
No, sirree, Bob. They'll be fully aligned with Megatron's vision.
And you know what? There's no way to tell until they're opened. So, Rhinox impressions aside, I love this. Like, to me, this is better than what they did on the show.
Yeah,
they would race to them.
Yeah, this is a more elegant way to introduce new characters to the cast.
Yeah, the summary is, instead of them being reprogrammed when they land, like on the show, they've already been programmed, but they're falling randomly here or there, and they won't know until they meet them. That's regardless of who gets there first or not. That's cool. Well done.
I have a feeling something that's going to come up is because if you recall, what happened with Blackarachnia was she woke up and then the shell program, like her internal systems told her that there was a update to commence, and then she turned into a Predacon. I have a feeling it's going to be a thing with some of the new protoforms where the Maximals are like, wait, no, don't do that update, and they have to figure out ways of getting rid of it.
So there's still a race to them to either convince them not to do the update or hack them and stop the update.
Yeah. I'm just speculating, but I have a feeling that's something that.
So there's still this urgency to get to the pods.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So instead of them updating while they're in orbit, they have to update after they land, like Blackarachnia did.
Yeah. I'm just speculating.
That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense. There's the next page. God damn it. There it is.
And then Rat Trap's
Rat Trap smacking the dinner table.
No, that's Gary who smacks the dinner table.
Oh shit, no, you're right. Yeah. it's a gorilla paw.
But he's all mad because Rat Trap was like, hey, weren't you the one saying we should give the Preds a chance? Maybe it won't be so bad.
It was Rhinox. Yeah. Wait a second. We talked about that, didn't we? Where he's like, maybe they're not so bad. And we're like, is that telling?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the panel where after Primal slams the dinner table. Presumably they're back at that round table we see them at. Notice how all of them stand differently. Cheetor's scared, like, oh, Uncle Optimus is angry. Rat Trap has his like arms crossed. It's like not impressed. But like Dinobot, like a soldier, like snaps to attention, shoulders square, arms crossed behind his back.
Yep.
I dig that. And Rhinox kind of like leaning forward attentively. Man, good job. It's not just the art, because I'm fine with the way that the art was in the first 5 issues. Christopher, he is not. He did not like it. No. But Christopher has said he really digs this current artist.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
shout out to the
artist.
Yeah, shout out to the artist, their silhouettes, their posture. For me, I notice things like that, and I really, really appreciate it. Like you said, it's the line artist who's doing all this, right? They do the paneling as well as the line art for the characters. I'm impressed. I'm gonna look up who this guy is after.
Penciler is the term.
Oh, is it called penciler?
Yeah.
So what's going on here?
The levels of artwork in comic book art is there is the penciler, the inker, and the colorist. Sometimes pencilers will do their own inks. Sometimes the inker will also do the color. Sometimes it's the same person who does all 3.
It depends on how much they want to stretch out and abuse their very few employees that work on these.
It also depends on like what the artist's skill set is. Some artists are really good pencilers, but not great inkers. Inkers, you kind of have to also be a penciler to be an inker, because you need to have pen control.
Yeah, they're the ones doing the rendering, the shading, and the colors. Yeah. We're in a different era too, because it's done through Photoshop or other art programs, right?
Inking isn't usually, but
not
coloring,
the inking, but the rendering, the coloring. It definitely is.
Coloring is often digital in this day and age. Yeah.
And you can do things that you couldn't before, or that would take a long time, like the close-up shots of their faces. Primal here, when he's like, things change. That can be done in Photoshop, like in less than, depending on how good they are and
depending
how long
on your
they've been in the
skill set,
industry, 15 minutes, less, 5 minutes. That would take hours, and if that was done by hand.
Yeah. Well,
and you could screw up.
Well, and consider like comic books are typically monthly, and coloring used to just all be done by hand.
Yeah. So shout out to everyone in this industry, because now we get to see texture on Primal's fur. We've mentioned that we kind of dig the furry nature when they're in robot form.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like the rat parts on Rat Trap, the gorilla parts on Primal. Yeah, looks great. So what's
even the Kingdom Optimus Primal figure has like a fur texture on his gorilla bits.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'll have to zoom in and enhance on pictures. Well, you got one there.
Yeah, it's hard plastic, but like,
but it's textured. You're right. Yeah, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah, Kingdom Primal is a fantastic transformer.
That's a really good one. So what's going on here? Primal blames himself. Not
he says that it's time for them to go on the offensive. Like, we've been cowering in here, hiding. Which I'm like, that seems like the most strategically sound thing to do until you get the lay of the land, but I don't know. Gary's like, okay, we're gonna take the fight to the Predacons, and Dinobot mentions that he agrees, but like that's not usually the way Maximals do things, basically. And Optimus is like, yeah, things change. So we cut to the dark side, and we get a cute little shot of Waspinator sleeping, holding a teddy bear.
The writers and artists watched Beast Wars. Like that is, I love that so much.
Actually,
Fuck
the
it, I'm
writer
making-
didn't.
The writer didn't?
No, he's spoken about it. He didn't until he found out that he was going to that he could be up for writing the Beast Wars comic, so he watched Beast Wars on Tubi.
For real? He binge watched Beast Wars on Tubi?
Yep.
My fucking man. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, he talks about it in the I think in the letter call or the what will become the letter column, but in the first issue.
Amazing. So this is really well done. I guess they don't have bunks on the dark side. It's just a hallway, like a maintenance hall or something like that, and Waspinator's sleeping, leaning against the wall, holding a little like teddy bear with like metallic mohawk.
Yeah.
And the shadow and the wall, the shading, the light is kind of like a pinkish purple, and there's a silhouette of a spider walking on the ceiling. So well done. And we cut to Tarantula Man.
Yeah, doing some science on his computer.
He's doing a science, as Tarantula Man is known for.
Yeah, he's basically like, oh, I was so close. I was able to contact one stasis pod, and I'll be able to do it again.
Again. I will do it again.
I definitely read this in Alec Willows's Tarantula's voice,
Right?
in my head.
La! It sounds like him.
Yeah.
He'd probably like smash his desk. Yeah. And Blackarachnia ninja's up behind him.
And it's like, yeah, you can't contact them anymore. And
Nope.
Tarantulas thinks she's an intruder and
Takes a swipe at her. She's like, actually, the name's Blackarachnia, but if people keep calling me intruder, I might have to rethink my name. How did you get into the dark side? Answer me!
she got in
Because I
because
have access codes.
because she has the access codes that he sent her, and she's like, think it through.
And so he
Yeah.
has a think.
And I'm like, really, Tarantula Man? You have this like spider babe show up undetected that you've never seen before after you've just commandeered one of the stasis and reprogrammed one of the stasis pods. How do you not put that together?
Well, he is under the assumption that he wasn't able to bring it out of orbit before the Maximals found him and chased him off the ship.
Mm.
So he was like, oh, I was so close. And so he's a little bit surprised that, hey, actually, it ended up working. But you're right. She's a spider. He probably programmed her to be oh, wait, no, that happened randomly. He didn't program her in this one. He did in Beast Wars, the TV show. But in this, a DNA sequencer came up and just happened to make her a spider. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. That happened, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Anyway,
A being after my own black heart. The first soldier in my army. Now bow before Tarantulas, my slave. And she kicks him in the dick.
she's like, that part of the code didn't go through. I'm no one's slave. And then,
Curses!
yeah,
Oh.
it figures. Perfect in almost every way, except the most important. Curse the luck. I'm like, oh, wow.
This is
But
very tarantulas.
that is very tarantulas.
Still, there's one new Predacon in the fight to rule Cybertron, at least. And there will be more, I swear it. And she gives him like a claw, and they kind of like, she pulls him to his feet with their spider hands. No need to swear, Tarantulas. I bring wonderful news. Dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Next, Scold on her own. And that's part 8.
Yep, that was issue 8. Do we want to get into the rating?
Yeah, so I'm never one to assume with too much Galavar and too much Energon. We have a too much Energon rating. And it's a 3-tier rating that goes from not enough Energon, a sufficient amount of Energon to too much Energon. It's basically bad, all right, good.
Yes.
I guess I'll go first.
I'll take it away.
You'll take it away? Okay.
I'm giving this issue a sufficient amount of Energon. It was
Okay.
pretty exciting read. There were a few
Continuity error.
leaps in logics. Like I mentioned, the characters like kind of drew some conclusions way too quickly. Cheetor being fucking dumb and falling
When it
for
established that he wasn't dumb.
that he wasn't dumb and falling for Blackarachnia's ruse. But I like this new version of Blackarachnia. I like the way they're handling the stasis pods in this series. I think it's a much more elegant way of doing it than the way it was done in the show.
Yeah.
Because those stasis pods episodes did get tiresome after a while in the show.
The same kind of we need to race to the pods and
Yeah, pretty much every time. So yeah, sufficient amount of Energon.
all right. I like the perspectives and the paneling so much, and the characters so much, and the dialogue that I am going to give it too much Energon.
Oh,
I really digged it, and the parts that the leaps in logic. If the leaps in logic were to save more pages for more story and action happening, then I would rather the characters all be Sherlock Holmes and progress the damn story
yeah.
than having like boring pages. And none of the pages are boring. So, like you said, though, it's not perfect, but it does get a too much Energon from me.
All right. You heard it here, folks.
It's true.
Yeah.
We invented the rating scale, and it's like a big final seal. Once we've rated something, it cannot be changed, and our word is gospel.
Yep. And it is the definitive opinion on any and all things Beast
Oh yeah,
Wars.
we're right.
As
Yeah,
we
we're
are
the experts.
we are the world's foremost Beast Wars podcast.
That's right.
Too much energy.
And that was our thoughts from 4 million years ago about issue whatever of the 2021 IDW Beast Wars comic book, and we completely stand by everything we said.
Yeah.
Unless we said something inflammatory about certain individuals or certain writers or certain artists, in which case, well, we're not sorry, but we don't stand by it anymore.
And you know what? I'm not sorry anymore.
Oh. Anyway, that was that. Best way to support the show is to go to patreon.com/lazorcomb, LAZORCOMB. We're at the single $5 Gary tier. You get a whole bunch of exclusive content. And you can follow me on Twitter at Lasercomb, spelled the same way, or you can follow the show proper at Too Much Energon, or you can follow Cal. You are at?
I am at NeoCal, NEO_KAL on Twitter and TikTok.
My work schedule is kind of in flux right now, so we will be back soon. I'm just not exactly sure when yet. With episode 117 of Too Much Energon, where we're going to be talking about whatever the next comic book issue is in this god-awful comic book series. And until then, I've been The Siege, one of your hosts.
And I'm Cal.
Thanks for listening. We will... we got Maximize to maximize next week.
We got beasts to beastly.
Yeah. That.
Stay beastly, folks.
Stay beastly. According to Chat GPT, that is a thing that I say all the time.
All the time.